Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hip Horse. It is Kentucky Derby time. I got my main man, Johnnie Lowe, with me. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be taking a look at top pedigree picks here in this year's 2023 Kentucky Derby. Johnny, everyone's excited, exciting time of the year as a horse player. Kentucky Derby right around the corner. How you doing?
Doing good, yeah. No, it's about as exciting as it's going to get for this time of year. We've got a really wide open field, and I say that with some information here. So, Forte was a Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner. Nyquist, Street Sense, last two horses to do the parlay the double from the Breeders' Cup Juvenile to winning the Kentucky Derby. Forte is kind of interesting though. He's coming from a sire line that is definitely not known for winning the Kentucky Derby. So he's by Violence. Violence didn't run. He hasn't sired anybody that's run. Who's by Medaglia d'Oro. Medaglia d'Oro has sired three horses that have ran in the Kentucky Derby. Bolt d'Oro, Enticing, both ran up the creek. There was another horse I think didn't run that great. He's by El Prado, who he's not really known for Kentucky Derby type stuff. Sadler's Wells, no horse. So you go up the entire stallion line. You've got to go back to Northern Dancer to find a horse that's really done anything in the Kentucky Derby, which he won, obviously. And you look at the bottom side of the pedigrees, the 1X Femline, which is my favorite, but it just hasn't really done very well in the Kentucky Derby. You could really make a case for this horse to have some excuses for this race. With that being said, after him, it's wide open.
Yeah, Johnny, I love hearing that, everyone. So, Johnny, what you're telling me in that quick spiel there, Forte, you don't love Forte's pedigree for the Kentucky Derby.
No, I mean, I think he's an outlier for his pedigree, no doubt about it. But with that being said, there's a lot of horses in this race that are bred to go a mile and a quarter. They're bred really well to go a mile and a quarter, and they're going to be some long odds. Now, they might not have had as fast of prep races. It might not look as sharp. It might not be as good. 20 horse field. If Forte has trouble, is he going to be able to overcome it with that extra eighth of a mile that we haven't seen him run yet against a field of horses that are pretty qualified to do it?
Yeah, Johnny, I love it. I love when you tell me that we got a chance to make some money possibly in this year's Kentucky Derby. Obviously, Forte is the one to be Kentucky favorite right now. We're shooting this video a couple weeks ahead of the big race, guys, so take note of that. Also the post positions, but we're looking strictly at the pedigree. When you see my man Johnnie Lowe on the Hip Horse, he's digging into the pedigree, guys. This guy dives deeper than anybody else I know, and he knows his pedigree better than anybody. So we're going to talk about some colts in this race that might have a chance at a big price, and then we'll have your top pick. We'll give your top pedigree pick at the end here, Johnny. Always great to have you. If you're new to the channel, hit that like, subscribe, ring the bell here on the Hip Horse. Tommy D, Johnnie Lowe from the Rooster Coup, guys. Keep your eye on him. Also an owner now. Johnny got his first win at Del Mar over the summer. Big accomplishment. He's moving along, guys. So keep your eye on the Rooster Coup. Congratulations on that too, Johnny.
Yeah, that was actually 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago. Jeez, man, that time is flying by. I can't believe it. Yeah, Johnny's cruising along, getting wins at some other tracks along the nation. So Rooster Coup, put it in your notes, guys. Pay attention to Johnny. Johnny, your thoughts here, pedigree. We're going to go through a couple of horses here, colts, and then we'll move to your top pick here. Confidence Game will be the first one, and Hit Show, we'll take a look at those two. Confidence Game is a Dark Bay colt trained by Keith DeSormo. James Graham gets the call. He was aboard in his last start where the colt was won the Rebel Grade 2 from Oakland, 18-1. Nice price there. Finished third in the Lecomte 2-back. 7 starts, 3 wins, 1 place, and 2 show there. That's Confidence Game. Colt, by Candy Ride. And the other Candy Ride colt is Hit Show, trained by Brad Cox. The second behind Lord Miles out, coming out of that 13 post, was favorite last time out. Hit Show, 2 nice little colts. Sons of Candy Ride. Tell us your thoughts on these two.
Yeah, so Confidence Game, who's by Candy Ride out of Eblisant by Bernardini. Candy Ride has been very successful in producing winners at the Kentucky Derby distance, with Shared Belief winning multiple Grade 1 mile and a quarter races, as well as Gunrunner, who won the Breeders' Cup Classic and placed third in the Kentucky Derby his year, which was the best finish out of the 9 horses to run in the race by Candy Ride. Candy Ride won at the distance himself. So Candy Ride has done really well as far as these dirt classic distance races go. With 2 more runners in here, he'll be at 11. I think that puts him in the lead for the most horses that have sired a Kentucky Derby contender since 2000. That's basically when I started keeping stats. Before that, it's kind of older blood. With that, Confidence Game's broodmare Eblisant is by Bernardini, bringing in a nice cross reminiscent of Mastery, who is also by Candy Ride out of Old Tree Stay mare. Both Bernardini and Old Tree Stay are by AP&D. Eblisant won 2 races and earned $78,550 in her career. Her half-sibling, on the other hand, made huge waves. Balance won multiple grade 1s and earned just over $1 million, and Zenyatta, one of the best to ever step in a gate, who won just over $7.3 million, including being the only filly or mare to ever win the Breeders' Cup Classic. The Femline is littered with mares that drop multiple stakes winners. I think Keith DeSormo could have a horse that is the real deal. It's definitely a little bit different approach that they're taking to the Kentucky Derby. They didn't run in one of the 100-point races, but he does have a win over the track, and he did win that other race, the Rebel. So I think he could show up. We'll see how he looks. Hit Show is also by Candy Ride. He's out of Actress by Tappet. I just talked about Candy Ride. It's going to be the same information for him. Actress won about $550,000 in her career. She broke her maiden winning the Black Eyed Susan Stakes. Pretty impressive. I don't know if any other horse has done that. Her dam Milwaukee Appeal won $1.2 million in her career, running 2nd in the 1.25 mile Alabama, which is really nice. It shows me that there's quality stamina genes on the bottom. The rest of the Femline is quiet for the most part, but it does show signs of quality. With the speed of Candy Ride on top and the amount of stamina on the bottom, through Tappet and the Mr. Prospector free bottom half of this horse's pedigree, it should like this. It should like to stretch out from the 1 1/8 to the 1 1/4. We're gonna see. This one's pretty interested. He pretty much had his campaign in New York. New York hasn't really produced a whole lot in the Derby, but he does have nice breeding. He is a Brad Cox horse. Look out.
Yeah, you can't discount Brad Cox in any big races currently, Johnny. And 13 that hit show, 13 posts in that last race hit show. Maybe gets the race done with a better post there. And Confidence Game, I think you're going to get a nice price on both of these colts, Johnny. So when you talk about Candy Ride, I always think about Shared Belief and Gun Runner. I was at that Breeders' Cup Classic. I love Gun Runners. Gun Runner, having that breed and that pedigree in the Candy Ride, knowing that this horse could get it done. I like it, Johnny. A Confidence Game and Hit Show under the Candy Ride pedigree. Anything else about these two you want to mention?
No.
All right, let's go. Lord Miles. No, we're going to next. We're going to go to. Who do you want to go to next?
Okay, so
let's go.
We're gonna talk about Mage.
Mage, okay, Mage and Reincarnate, right under Good Magic.
Yeah, so Mage is by Good Magic out of Puka by Big Brown. So Good Magic was 2nd behind Justify in his trip for the Roses. This is his first crop going to the gate this year. He had 3 horses qualify: Mage, Reincarnate, and Blazing Sevens. Extremely impressive feat. And while Blazing Sevens is going to defect from the Derby, he is still well represented. That Good Magic is. Good Magic is by Curlin, who's yet to sire a winner in the Derby, but his son Keen Ice did sire last year's winner Rich Strike, and Curlin has sired 2 second-place finishers in the race. The stallion line is extremely strong. The fact that, although Rich Strike, I'm not too happy about the bottom side of his pedigree, but the fact that Keen Ice and Rich Strike pulled off what they did last year shows that at least there is that kind of a talent of the progeny from Curlin. So that is a really good sign for Good Magic, who's got 2 chances in the race this year. Puka by Kentucky Derby winner Big Brown, who won $300,000 in her career and has done extremely well in the breeding shed so far, dropping Gunning, who is a 3 for 6 black type filly with current earnings of $242,000, and Mage being the other foal. Her dam Boats Ghost dropped $1.6 million graded stakes winner Finnegan Wake. It's a very interesting pedigree on the bottom side. Having that Big Brown is a broodmare sire. You don't see that a whole lot. I think there is a decent amount of stamina there. And in the Femline, they have been producing horses they can run. Finnegan's Wake was a turf horse. Nonetheless, he was a very classy horse. He won a lot of money. He did a lot of good things. I think this is a really nice cross. Mage needs to get out of the gate better, and he needs to find a little bit better of a trip, but this could be a serious contender based on his pedigree.
Yeah, I mean, with Mage, you got to look at it. A very lightly raised too, Johnny, coming out of the gate. Only 3 starts under the belt, all 3 coming at Gulfstream, trained by Gustavo Delgado. Finished impressively in the Florida Derby, finished second by 2 lengths in its 3rd career start. You know, behind Derby favorite Forte. Luis Saez, who's aboard in the Florida Derby, will be aboard here. Finished 4th in the Fountain Youth in his 2nd career start, so lightly raced. But if this Chestnut Colt by Good Magic could get back on track and get out of the gate, Johnny, might be one to pay attention to here in the Derby. Who else you got? What else you got for us?
So Reincarnate is also by Good Magic. He's out of Alana by Scat Daddy. Alana won just shy of 100,000 in her career, and Reincarnate is by far the best of her foals so far. After Alana, you have to go back 5 generations to find a black type mare, but she has class. She had class as she was bred to War Admiral. The 5th gen mare, that is, was bred to War Admiral. So somewhere in that pedigree, somebody saw something that they liked. Although there are holes in the fem line, the broodmare stallion Scat Daddy does bring some added and needed stamina to the equation. He sired Triple Crown winner Justify, who also has a horse going in this race named Verifying, whom Reincarnate outfinished in the Rebel. I think this horse has and could use a little bit more on the bottom side. We're basically gonna see how much Good Magic can elevate this horse from the top side to get the distance.
Yeah, Reincarnate, well, a lot of hopes here. This gray colt, so if you like the grays, guys, trained by Tim Yakteen, Johnny V will be aboard. This 3-year-old finished 3rd in the Arkansas Derby, just missed by a head for 2nd place there. You know, then came on late, 2 starts back to finish 3rd in the Rebel. In the money in all 7 starts. Did take 4 starts to break its mated, but this improving colt is one to keep your eye on. Spent a lot of money on this one. Not too much money spent on some of these Kentucky Derby, but they paid $775 at the Keeneland September as a yearling. Like you said, Good Magic colt. I'm excited to see how this plays out. A lot of high hopes for Reincarnate. I think you're still going to get a good price here in the Derby, Johnny.
Yeah, some of these horses we just went over could be bombs. Maybe somebody decides one of them's a wise guy horse to play. But I think for the most part, if you're looking for value, I mean, it's right here. I think there should all be double digits, these horses that we're going over right now. Yeah,
and when we're looking at this, everyone, we're taking a look at the top pedigree. Johnny's really digging into the pedigree, looking at the top and the bottom, the fem lines and everything. So he's really digging in for you guys here. So here on the Hiphorse, it's great to have him. If you've been following us for a while, he's been my main guy for a while. We brought him back for these special episode, guys. So hit that like button, subscribe, ring the bell. Throw down in the comments, too, who you guys like in the Derby here. We're going to be doing a contest. I'll explain that at the end here if you want to get involved. But let's go on to our next one you want to dive into, Johnny. Lord Miles, is that correct?
Yeah, so
yeah, let's do it.
Big price that he just paid in New York, Lord Miles. He's had the pedigree the whole time. They started him off in Gulfstream Park. It didn't work out there. Then they moved over to Tampa. It didn't work out there. Next thing you know, he's in New York trying to. He finally kind of found his stride of late out in New York, and we'll see how that transfers to Kentucky. But Lord Miles is by Curlin, out of Lady Esme by Majestic Warrior, who's by AP Indy. Curlin has been hard knocking, trying to get a son to the Kentucky Derby winner's circle. From his 9 starters to go to post, he's had 2 second-place finishers, Good Magic and Exaggerator. Interesting of note, all 9 horses went on to stand in the breeding shed. So every horse that he's ever had that's ran in the Kentucky Derby has ended up being a stallion. Keen Eye sired last year's long shot Derby winner Rich Strike, and Vino Rosso went on to win the Breeders' Cup Classic. Curlin is the consummate Derby distance stallion, siring winners in 2 of 3 legs of the Triple Crown and looking to sire a Derby winner before he's done standing. Lady Esme by Majestic Warrior is the 1L femline. Lady Esme was unraced, but her broodmare, Kilmacallan, has been successful in the breeding shed, dropping $1.3 million champion Caledonia Road, $500,000 earner officiating, and $250,000 black type one-of-a-kind. The Curlin AP Indy Cross has brought horses like Exaggerator, Elite Power, Global Campaign, and Cody's Wish. It has been extremely successful with fillies as well. Malathot, Stellar Wind, Clairiere, Nest, Carolina, and Obligatory. everything about this pedigree says this horse is going to be a standout. I don't know how much the improvement that he's had to New York, how much more he's going to have to improve off of that to win this race. But looking at his pedigree, it's there. I can really see this horse jumping leaps and bounds and showing up and maybe shocking some people.
I like it, Johnny. I mean, what would it be, Pedigree Picks, without a Curlin horse on the mix with Johnny? If you've been following us, you know Johnny loves Curlins. Johnny, I actually picked this one a couple back here, and people forgot about this one. You know, trained by Saffie Joseph Jr., a very good, talented trainer. Paco Lopez back up after that impressive win in the long shot at Aqueduct in the Wood. $120 a pay, Johnny, to be exact, on a $2 bet. Finished 5th in the Tampa Bay Derby 2 starts back. Had a nice workout coming back, 421. You like to see that after its big win. This Bay Colt will be ready to go. Won 2 out of 5 career starts. Lord Miles, and I think you're going to get a price here.
I would hope so. I can't see why somebody looks at the numbers and they're looking at it going, oh, okay, this is the horse out of the wood that I'm going to lay all that money on. But hey,
I hope you're
hold
right,
on.
Yeah,
he could do it.
Hey, there we go. And let's go to our last and final here. This would probably be your top pedigree pick. As you said, Johnny is laying some colts out here with strong pedigrees that he believes has a chance when he's diving deep into these. Who's the number one pedigree pick here?
So the number one we're going to go with is going to be Angel of Empire. Ultra impressed with how he ran in the Arkansas Derby, and when I dug into his pedigree, I definitely saw a horse that could come up with a win here. He's by Classic Empire, he's by Pioneer of the Nile, out of Harmony's Angel, by To Honor and Serve, and comes from the 26 Fem line. Classic Empire will be making his stallion debut in the Kentucky Derby. He did run 4th his year and hails from a stallion line of extremely successful Derby stallions, going back to winner and winning producer Unbridled himself. Although To Honor and Serve and his line, which goes Bernardini, AP Andy, Seattle Slew, haven't had much success finding winners on the bottom side, with only Super Saber and Funny Side being out of their broodmares, I still think they bring a good amount of quality stamina genes, is the broodmare sire line on the bottom. I like to see more black type broodmare on the fem line, but all the broodmares on the line, all the way back to Papilla, who dropped champion Crimson Satin in 1959, dropped stakes winners. She is also directly on the Tisnow's fem line. Harmony's Angel was 0 for 8 in her racing career. Being the fem line, sharing the same fem line as Tisnow might not be a bad thing. He's the only horse that's ever won back-to-back Breeders' Cup Classics, and I think that top and bottom, this horse has what it takes. He can raid off of horses. He can probably be up close. I think there's a lot of things that Flavian Pratt's going to be able to do with this horse, and I think for me, he's probably going to be my first choice amongst all the horses that we've talked about, and the betting public's probably going to back him into the 7-to-1 range, I would imagine.
Yeah, of course, guys. I mean, Angel of Empire, very impressive. Bay Colt trained by Brad Cox. Flavian Pratt deciding to ride here. He rode this 3-year-old colt nice to victory in the Arkansas Derby, winning by 4+ there. Won the Risen Star 2 starts back at the Fairgrounds. Won 4 out of 6 career starts. Pretty nice story here. This one got picked up at a yearling sale. First got picked up $32,000, sold at a Keeneland mixed sale, and then a yearling sale for $70,000. The Albro family, they've had Brody's Cause, Juju's Map, and Free Drop Billy, so they've had some success in this ownership. So top pick, Angel of Empire, Johnny. And as we're shooting this, guys, this is not going into the post positions, the weather. We're strictly looking at the pedigree here with Johnny. A lot of other factors to take a look at when you're placing your bets on the big day, guys. But I think we got some solid contenders here and solid pedigree information with Johnny here. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, ring the bell, guys. We'll also be doing one more top 5 video with the captain. That'll be coming out next week, so stay tuned for that. But I know you guys all wanted the pedigree information. Johnny's here. So, Johnny, what else would you want to talk about here before we get out of here?
I think that this Derby is very, very interesting from a pedigree standpoint. So the classic distance pedigrees, for the most part, have been the Mr. Prospector line over an Outcross line. They produced many winners in the Kentucky Derby. So, for example, when I look at this, 2000 Fusiachi Pegasus, he qualified for it. 2002 War Emblem, Funny Side, Smarty Jones, Street Sense, I'll have another. You've got Always Dreaming, Country House. There's so many horses along the line that have had that exact cross, and you have a ton of them in this race. There's a lot of them, almost half of them. And yet the favorite is a horse that Stallion Line has never won the Kentucky Derby. You've got a big horse like King Barnes, who's by Uncle Mo. We saw what Nyquist did in the Kentucky Derby. We didn't even talk about him. And Tappet Trice, there's a horse that's by Tappet. A lot of people like to bet Tappet, although for me, I'm going to stay away from him in the Derby. He's 0 for a whole lot in the Derby, and a lot of his horses have taken a pretty good amount of money. This is one of the Derbies I think people should be licking their chops. I think there's a horse out there that if you could find him, you could definitely get rewarded for this. Yeah, I'm excited, Johnny. We could find some big prices in this Kentucky Derby. Everyone, let us know who you guys like this week. I'm looking at Johnny's spreadsheet, guys. You guys wouldn't believe how much work he puts into this pedigree information. So, like I said, keep your eye on the Rooster Coup. Always great to have Johnny with us on the Hip Horse. Anything else, my man? No, I always like to let you lay. I know you're here. The people want to hear what you got to say, so. Yeah, well, good luck this year getting your picks together. If anybody wants any consulting tips, or if you're looking to get into ownership, go ahead and hit us up on here. Tommy D would be more than happy to pass the word along for us, and maybe I could set you off in that direction. Other than that, did you have a little contest you wanted to do? Yeah, we're going to do a contest, guys. Thanks for reminding me. We're going to do a $50 Amazon gift card. So same as the last couple of years. You go first, second, and third in the order you think it's going to finish. Your first place, second place, and third in the order of the exact order. If we have a couple multiple winners, we will draw for a winner there. But in the past, if you get 1, 2, 3, most likely you got a good chance to win the contest. So put that down below, guys. $50 Amazon gift card to the winner. Free, no purchase necessary. Just for you guys. I'll also have that email. So if any information you want to get connected with us, any sponsorship, you want to get involved with horse racing, Johnny's the guy, guys. So once again here on the Hip Horse special pedigree edition with Johnnie Lowe, we appreciate you. Until next time, everybody, good luck this year, and we'll catch you next time on the Hip Horse. Giddy up.